And now you're starting to panic and worry whether that fat that you gain, will it cover your abs? So you recently started your bulk, or you're about to bulk, and you're worried that you're about to lose your abs. I mean, it makes sense. You're in a caloric surplus, so you're eating more than you're burning, which means that surplus, you're going to store it, and that's going to come through muscle and fat. And now you're starting to panic and worry whether that fat that you gain, will it cover your abs? Now, the first thing is, whatever fat you do gain, it won't directly and solely go just to your midsection. It will distribute all over your body in a layered fashion. And the way it works is, the leaner you are, so let's say you start at 10% body fat, the first place your fat will go to is the lower abs, and then it'll go to the middle abs, and then the upper abs, which is like around 16% body fat. And then it goes to your chest, your arms, your face, in that type of order. So your abs will be the first place where some portion of fat will go to. To answer the question, well, yes, temporarily, when the fat continues to build up or accumulate as you bulk, your abs will fade away. But this doesn't mean they've disappeared. It just means you need to go on a shredding phase, or you need to cut again. They'll just be as chiseled and defined as they were previously. But before you quit your bulk or go in the opposite direction, which is even worse, so go in the opposite direction and go on a calorie deficit, I want to ask, why did you go on a bulk in the first place? Because the only way to gain weight is going on a bulk. If you go on a deficit or stay at maintenance, your weight will either stay like this or go down. So if you ever wanted to gain weight, you have to go on a bulk. And if you wanted to build muscle the fastest way possible and get huge the fastest way possible, and also the most efficiently, bulking is the only option by a mile. So if you wanted huge quads, huge legs, your chest and upper chest to pop out, you wanted your sleeves to actually fill out, you wanted that V taper, bulking is the only option. And most likely, if you're bulking right now, you're seeing that progress in the gym. Every week your lifts are going up. Every week you see yourself in the mirror, you're starting to fill out your sleeves, you're looking more huger. Aren't those all good things? Well, yes, your abs will slowly start to disappear. And that's something you have to accept when you're on a bulk, because you're also getting so many other things that you so desperately need. To put it all together, to build muscle the fastest way possible, you need to go in a surplus. Okay, to get visible, defined abs, you most likely need to go into a deficit unless you already have abs, or you can stay at maintenance. Because you need to go into a deficit to have abs, surplus to build muscle the fastest, you've got colliding interests. You can only do one or the other. You can't do both effectively. So here's the solution to everything. Both can happen. That's right, both can. But just one after another. And if you start complaining and say, well, what about this guy on YouTube or this guy on TikTok who has abs even at the end of his bulk? Well, either number one, he started at a low body fat percentage where he already had clear, visible, chiseled abs. And as the bulk continued, because he didn't bulk up to such a high body fat percentage, his abs were still visible. So he started with abs and then he ends with abs. Not he doesn't start with abs and they become visible during the bulk. Because if anyone's saying that, they're selling you BS. So because we need to go one step followed by the other, if you decide to do the deficit and keep your abs visible or get more chiseled abs, here's the thing. The reason why you wanted to bulk was to fill out your sleeves, look huger, get that huge chest, legs, you'll just blow up in muscle mass. Which means probably right now you're not where you want to be. And if you do go on a shredding phase, you'll just become even smaller, have twigs poking out of your sleeves and shorts. And so you don't have that foundation of muscle. And yes, you're going to have abs. Congratulations. But you're going to be super skinny and most likely demotivated and unhappy with your results. That's why have some patience. Because when it comes to building muscle, if you see any transformation, it usually takes 2 or 3 years at the minimum to see a clear, significant change, like unrecognizable change, where a person at the beginning looked like this, 2 or 3 years later, or 4 or 5, and he looks completely different, unrecognizable. Whereas when it goes to weight loss or fat loss, or when you're going on that shredding phase, it only takes 3 months to become unrecognizable or become completely shredded. That's why people shred during the spring, 3 months, so they're shredded for the summer. So whereas one takes 3 years, which is bulking and building muscle, shredding and getting those abs only takes 3 months. See the difference in the scale? So fat is quick to lose and also quick to store, but muscle takes forever to build and forever to lose, a very long time. So here's how to do it. Bulk for a prolonged period of time. And if you want to find the best rate you should bulk at to maximize your muscle gain and also minimize the amount of fat that you will gain during your bulk, watch my video up here. And if you do prolong for a period of time, you build a good foundation and then the cut can follow, which won't be as long. That way you'll also be much huger, you'll look better when you actually do go on the deficit. And more importantly, if you train your abs during the bulk and also the cut, they too will be more defined and developed. So you don't need to cut to such a low body fat percentage to actually see this defined abs. And since you don't need to cut to a very low body fat percentage, the cut itself will be shorter and much easier on you. And then you can spring back into another bulk. So that's the complete solution on how to do it, one step after another, a prolonged bulk followed by a cut. That's the way to bulk, build muscle, and still have visible abs. May the gains be with you, and see you in the next one.